Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Christian article where we are sort of becoming on the homeward stretch of all these Cwcism terms, as we are going to take a look into the PVCC, the Private Villa of Corrupted Citizens. This page is about the fictional institution. For the message board, see Private Villa of Corrupted Citizens message board. After being laid off and down on her love luck, she sought revenge and make that all will remain virgins without true, honest love within the state of Virginia. Quiz on the origins of the PVCC. And this is apparently their logo. And this is apparently the copyright date. Somehow. The Private Villa of Corrupted Citizens, PVCC citizens, also called Proudent Virginia Community College, Proudent VCC, is a fictionalized version of Piedmont Virginia Community College that appears in the Solitude comics as the headquarters for the collective activities of the villains of Quickville. History. Mary Lee Walsh, retconned as Slowie Oriam, was Dean of Student Services at Piedmont Virginia Community College until June of 2000. She was fired for making love potions and selling drugs on the side. The downtrodden Mary Lee Walsh picked herself up and built the Provident Virginia Community College. Chris fucks up the entire series continuity right here. 10 miles north of Quickville, while building Mary came into contact with Count Graduan, amplifying her powers. Under the guise of running an educational institution, she began to recruit the Jerkops and engineer the first Decepticlones. In a Wikipedia account, Chris tells of fighting against the tyrannical PVCC in March of 2004, in some sort of terrible GoBots Power Rangers / anime battle. Mary Lee then changed her name to Slowie Oriam and set up a new PVCC in the ruined Manchester High School, Menchie Nassau High School, which explains why she was in MHS in Solitude issue 4, and brings the high school story into the Solitude continuity. And you would not believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, but that is just where it begins already, with all these references leading to dead links. So you might be thinking to yourself, ladies and gentlemen, that this might be an entirely pointless article in itself, but not necessarily, because although it can be argued that the community college just basically seems like a denizen for all of, Chris's problems. Because you see, this is like what Chris would end up doing a lot. Is that in order to cope with reality, he puts it into a very different reality. He puts Mary Lee Walsh into a world where she is subservient to Chris in story, as well as in Chris's point of view in real life. Chris would rather concern himself with making sure that all actions that Mary Lee Walsh did were demonized to the point where he wouldn't even bother to change out her name in the first place. He would keep it as it is, as a reminder, you do not screw around with me because I'm going to make your life miserable in this comic. Because it was the closest thing Chris could come up to actually making Miss Walsh's life miserable. And which just seems very, very petty and childish, because that's kind of like because it is. Any attempt Chris might have had at, learning to grow up and get over it. In fact, most children over the age of 8 would have learned to have stopped doing this and to have just gradually have gotten over this very childish attempt to just try and blackmail somebody for inexplicable reasons, for reasons that Chris caused himself. Chris is the instigator. He is the judge, the jury, and the executioner all in one. He doesn't even realize it because he doesn't want to believe that he is the one responsible. He wants to believe he is always the innocent, never the guilty. And as well as you guys will probably be able to work out, that only ends up going in exactly one day, in one way, downward. And as far as Chris is concerned, he doesn't care either way, because at least he managed to fulfill out his revenge fantasies. At least he managed to do something about the fact that he couldn't deal with the fact he could be blamed. Think about how much time Chris could have saved in his life if he just accepted that he was in the wrong. And all of a sudden, he should have just admitted to his mistakes and then fessed up. Because it probably wouldn't have meant that the PVCC would have never have consisted or even existed in the first place. Makes you think, doesn't it? So with all that being said and done, I hope you guys have enjoyed this article for what it was worth of the PVCC. And I will hope to see all of you guys again in the next video for the penultimate side, the stresses section of the Cwictionary. Take care, and bye-bye for now.